If you ask me to name one thing that helped me make my early motherhood journey easy, I would definitely say my nanny. And that's what I'm talking about today. Hi everyone, welcome back to Mama Avocado Toast, a space where we talk about navigating work, life, motherhood, and everything in between. The one thing we modern mamas can't deny is that we are raising babies today without perhaps the village our mothers had, where they lived in joint families, they had friends and neighbors who could watch over the baby. Today, most of us live in nuclear families, so the only support system we have is our nanny. The one thing we often tend to forget is that the goal isn't just to find a good nanny. It's to make your equation with her work in a manner that suits you, her, and your baby. So today I'm sharing a few tips that I learned from my own journey. Let's dive right in. So let's say you've been looking for a nanny, you found one you like, and you finalized her. The absolute first thing you must do, in my opinion, is set clear expectations right from the start. Talk to her about her scope of work. I know you will tell me, is this a desk job? I would say treat it like one. Talk to her about what exactly she will be required to do in terms of responsibilities. Does her work include childcare or childcare plus housework if her schedule allows? Make it very clear to her. Talk to her about her pay. How much she would be getting, can she expect increments, does this include a bonus component maybe at the time of festivals, will you be giving her some additional extras like maybe a new set of clothes every 6 months or maybe some basic medicines, basic toiletries, schedule and flexibility. So if you have a live-in nanny, you want to talk to her about what her holiday schedule would be looking like. So for instance, in Mumbai where I stay, the general norm is that live-in or part-time, you get 2 paid leaves a month. You also might want to talk to her about if she will be needing an annual leave. This particularly happens in case of nannies who come from outside of your city. If you have a nanny who comes in the morning and leaves in the evening, you want to ask her if she is okay staying a few extra hours. Maybe, if you have some guests over or you have to go out, is she okay staying the night? So these are things you want to clear out. And finally, very important to tell her the house rules. So for instance, if you're a vegetarian household, you have to make it clear to her that she probably cannot get non-veg food in the house. Or perhaps what the rules are with regards to phone usage or screen time. What is the general routine of the family? I believe having a clear, honest conversation about all of these things sets expectations right at the start and reduces room for any kind of dissatisfaction later down the road. The next thing I would say, which is really important, is respecting boundaries. Your nanny is a really important person because you're literally entrusting her with your most valuable asset, your child. So it's not just important that you feel happy to have her, it's important she also feels valued and comfortable working in your household. So the first thing I would say, which goes a long way, is giving her a little private space, depending on the size of your house. You could give her a drawer, a small cupboard, maybe a room to keep her things, and perhaps a small corner that she can use in her own downtime, when she's resting, or perhaps she needs a break, or she needs to take a call. And of course, goes without saying, do not check that place in her absence. The other thing which I also see a lot which causes dissatisfaction is making them do work you hadn't spoken to them about originally. So if you've spoken to her to do only childcare, do not make her do housework, even if it sounds tempting. What I would usually do is, if my nanny was free and I wanted her to do a little housework, I would ask her. And if she said I'm comfortable, I would tell her to do it. And just to make sure that she was happy, I would give her a little extra money. So this ensures that, she is happy, my work is done, and there's no room for any dissatisfaction. So please respect that. I would say treat your nanny just the way you would want to be treated at your own workplace. Clear and regular communication. Don't just give instructions, talk to them regularly about your child. Ask them about what the child is eating, the child's activities, maybe when they're taking the child to an activity class or perhaps to the park in the evening. Ask them how the child is feeling. This helps them feel a part of the child's world. The other thing I would also say is ask them regularly about themselves. Ask them how they're feeling, how they're doing. Is there any way you can help? Ask them about their family. You don't have to be intrusive and know their entire family history, but have a general idea of who they have at home, if there's anything you can do to help. So the one thing I've often done is, not just for my nannies, but a lot of my domestic staff, is I help out a little bit with their children's school education, simply because that's a cause that's really close to my heart. So I will get them stationery, or maybe, if there are special occasions, I will send little gifts for their family. Now, this is a small step, but it goes a really long way. If you don't want to help out with their family, at least ask them regularly how they're feeling. Again, this helps them feel valued and they do want to stick around. Because at the end of the day, I do feel just like us, even they like employers who are fair, employers who are kind, and people who treat them like family. Freebies and pay perks, honestly, this is such an underrated thing, but I think this goes such a long way. When I say freebies, I mean anything you're giving them apart from their salary. The first and absolutely non-negotiable thing is clean and decent food. Please don't feed them leftovers. Please don't give them stale food. Give them food that is clean, that is healthy, food that you would like to be given. Give them tea or coffee. Maybe when it's summer, give them some Glucon-D or some fruit tea. You know, at the end of the day, food is fuel. If they are well fed, this will help them maintain their energy levels. And trust me, we all know how much energy is needed when you're taking care of a child. Give them basic toiletries, basic medicines, especially if they are living in with you. I think for me, this is non-negotiable because I feel anyone who's spending so much time close to my child, it's so important for them to be healthy and hygienic. A small token of appreciation on festivals, so Holi, Diwali, Christmas, Eid, whatever festivals you all celebrate at home, maybe a cash component that you're comfortable with or a small gift for them or their families. I do this, and sometimes what I also do is when we're having a celebration at home, maybe my child's birthday or any other celebration, I give some gifts to them too. I think the idea is to share our happiness with them, include them in our celebrations. It's not about the money. It's never about the money. It's just about making them feel valued, making them feel that yes, you're not just an employee, you are family. And I think things like these work wonders. Think about it. If you get appreciation at your workplace, wouldn't that make you feel happy? It's the same thing. Handling problems constructively. Now, of course, we all know that childcare is a very sensitive responsibility, one that requires you to be alert at all times, and there's very little room for mistake because even a little bit of carelessness can actually lead to a major catastrophe. But at the end of the day, what we must also accept is that we are all humans, and whether it's you, whether it's your partner, whether it's a family member or a nanny, mistakes are bound to happen. So a few initial mistakes should be let go of with probably a little bit of a warning or probably making them understand, but do not come down very hard on them. But at the same time, keep an eye out, because if they are repeating the same mistake again and again, that's when you need to sit down and talk. If there's something you're not particularly happy with, what you can actually do is show them how it's done. I think that works much better than scolding them. For instance, when my son had started solids, this is after he'd started walking, I realized that he'd gotten into a habit somehow of running and eating. So he would run around and my nanny would be running after him with a spoonful of food in her hand. And I explained to her that this is not how we should do it, but then she said this is how he eats. So then for the next few meals, I actually sat down with him at his little table, made sure he didn't get up until the meal was done, and then showed her how it's done. I think what I've come to realize is that we mothers have more patience than anyone else when it comes to our children. So it's very important we have patience with the people who are also handling our children. Building a good relationship with your nanny takes time, effort, and a lot of empathy. But yes, if you get it right, it can be such a game changer. It can give you peace of mind because you know you have a trustworthy person to take care of your child has a safe environment, and your nanny is happy working for you and does not think of quitting. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'd love to hear from you what you found useful or didn't find useful in your own nanny journey. I'd also love to hear what you'd like me to cover in my upcoming videos. Till then, keep glowing, keep growing. From the bum to the boardroom, I've got you covered, Mama.